Okay, they're each of about probably about half a meter long. Hi guys, welcome to Asher and Gad channel, making Africa home again, one family at a time. So on site today to give you a brief site update. It's only me today. I say it's going to be brief, but we'll see how it goes. So what's happened so far? You can see behind me that the curbs have been put in, and we've done a bit of a temporary landscape. So let me just turn the camera around so you can see that for yourself. So for those of you who've been following our channel, you know that we've always been talking about these curbs. We finally put them in, okay? They're each of about probably about half a meter long. We've got them in to divide the plot that we'll be staying on as from the unoccupied plot, if you like. Okay, these curbs were made on site, as I've said in previous videos, okay? All laid down and firmed up with the concrete at the back of them and the cement in between them. Okay, so they go all the way along and all the way along there. We've also put the quarry dust along the ground, as I said we would. Now this is a temporary landscape. Okay, we're doing all that we need to do to moving as quickly as possible, and our budget is not going to stretch at this moment in time to the full-blown landscape, which is quite expensive. I'll talk about that more in just a little bit, but let me just give you a view of the quarry dust that has been applied to the landscape, as well as the curbs that have been laid to date. There's more to come, but let's just give you a view. So that's it, guys. Basically, the full-blown landscape. You know, we've been thinking about various designs, a mixture of greenery. We do like a lot of greenery, so we've been thinking about a lot of greenery with some pavement blocks, maybe some tiles in certain areas, but lots of greenery. And you know, we've got some initial quotations of the landscape. And would you believe it? Just for the plot where we're going to live here, which is quite a big area, I'm getting quotes of between 80 and 100,000 Ghana cedis. Really, really, really significant cost. You know, really significant. Now, yes, as I was saying, guys, 80 to 100,000 Ghana cedis for the landscape works. Now, but I found a cheaper way of potentially doing it, or part of it anyway. If you look at your screen, I'm showing like pavement blocking, and a large part of that quotation was pavement blocking, because we like those in certain areas. And you know, if you buy them from a company, obviously the company has got their price, their overhead, their profit all on it, and you're getting a pavement block which is about I think the cheapest I found was 1 cedi and 90 pesos, and the most expensive I found was about 3 cedis and 50 pesos. That's per block, and we need quite a few of them on the site. Okay, but the cheaper way to do it is that we can actually hire the machine and make the blocks, these small blocks, on site ourselves. And speaking to the landscape expert, if we do that, we can actually save a lot of money. You know, we can half, if not better, half the price from the company directly by making our own pavement blocks on site. So that's probably what we'll do for the areas that we use the pavement blocking. Now, for those people who are asking, this quarry dust you can see behind me, okay, it is temporary, okay. But the good thing about it is it doesn't get muddy like the red laterite type of soil does get, that's been compacted, can get muddy when it rains heavily. But this is temporary in the sense that you can concrete over it, you can tile over it, you can do whatever you like over it in the final scheme of things. So that's what I mean by that being temporary until we are ready to do our full-blown exercise. Let's put it that way. All right, so guys, just want to give an update also on the pump. We just bought the pump for the solar water tank, and if you don't know what I'm talking about and you haven't watched our last video, just click up here and you'll see what I'm talking about regarding the pump. We need a pump to increase the pressure for the inflow water into the solar water tank. Okay, we just bought that. It's a 1 horsepower automatic pump, and the cost of that was including the automatic accessories, 1,140 Ghana cedis. Price in pounds and dollars on your screen. That was the full price of that. Now it's important that it's an automatic pump for our setup, because the tank itself has an automatic valve which shuts off the water when the tank is full. I'll go into that in more detail when the pump is installed, so I can explain to you guys the intricacies or the differences behind buying an automatic pump versus buying a manual pump. And you need to know the differences when you are buying these things. So guys, as you can see, that's all the query that's gone. Basically at the front here, what we're going to do is we're going to do a concrete ramp. Okay, there'll be a concrete ramp up here. The land is ramping a little bit. We'll put a concrete ramp up there, made of iron, the iron rods we have left over on site, and we'll raise it just to the level, just below the main gate level. Okay, that will all be coordinated and done next week. Okay, and we have a number of plans for flower beds, which will have a nice flower bed on the outside here, which will sort of curve from that way all the way down there as well to make it look very nice. Let me just show you as I come through here. So in the center of this sort of a driveway, we'll have a circle in the middle, and we want to put a sort of a big flower there just in the middle, like not a fountain, but to look like a fountain, but it'll just be more plants and flowers. On the side here too, we'll put a flower bed on the side, on each side of the house, both here and on the other side, and another flower bed that will go along the edges of the septic along the edges of that fence wall right there. Now, there was something I mentioned in the last video which people didn't understand, so let me illustrate it so you have a better picture right now. So here is the borehole pump. So you've got the borehole pump that is in this sort of hole here. You can see that, right? So that's the borehole pump, and we purposely put blocks around it, and what we'll do is we will put a solid cover over it before the final landscape comes, so that it's always accessible and you always know where it is for future purposes. Now, unfortunately, the guys doing the landscape covered our septic tank over completely, which is never done, never heard of. So they're going to have to dig up the septic tank area again. Obviously, the only good thing is they know exactly where the entrance is, so they'll dig up that area, just that little area, and do exactly the same thing as they've done in the borehole pump with the septic tank, so we can always access it if we need to in the future. All right, guys, that's it for the landscape for today. I just want to touch on something about a video I did last Friday about 110 volts and 220 volts, especially for our American, Canadian diaspora. And if you haven't watched that video, please click up here and watch that video. Okay, I did a video explaining how you can use 110 volts in Ghana. How you can use the same electricity supply that you get in Ghana, which is, you can see behind me here, all those poles, yeah, distributing 220 volts or 400 volts 3-phase, how you can use that same power supply to come into your house and convert it to 110 and 220 for the equipment you're bringing from where you live now. Yes, you can do absolutely that. But somebody raised a very great question, which does have an answer, and so I want to answer that now. Obviously, you get that step down transformer, which will step down the voltage to 110 in your house. No problems with that. Okay, but obviously in Ghana we use 50 hertz. In America and all these countries they use 60 hertz. What difference does that make? Okay, now the difference it makes is twofold. If you are using a piece of equipment that has a motor or a fan in it, it will at its top speed rating, it probably run about 17% slower. Okay, so but depending on what that item is, that may or may not be an issue for you. You need to assess that for yourself. Some items is not really a problem. Some items may be a consideration that you need to make. But it will run 17% slower because it's an equipment made for 60 hertz, but it's connected to a 50 hertz source of power. Okay, 17% slower run. But the plus side of that, because it's running about 17% slower, you are consuming 17% less power. Okay, so it's going to give you a bit of saving in your power consumption in that regard. So running a little bit slower, 17% slower, but you're using 17% less power. However, there is another point that you need to take into consideration, and that is again, a little bit technical here, but it's called the volt to hertz frequency. Because we're using 50 hertz in Ghana, what happens is that ratio is a bit higher. And for some items, not all items, and there are a number of factors involved. It depends on the actual rating of the item and you know, how much power it draws when it's fully loaded, if you like. So for some items in the long term can experience a little overheating issue. Okay, for some items. But if that concerns you or you're bothered about that, again, depending on the item we are talking about here, then the best way to deal with that is to get a frequency converter, okay, in addition to the step down transformer. So the step down transformer can step down from the 230 to 110, then you can get a frequency converter that will change the 50 hertz to 60 hertz. Okay, now I was doing a bit of further research. I found two products. Again, I've not used them at all before. Obviously I haven't got 110. I didn't live in America or any of these countries, but I'm just doing it for those who are interested from those countries. There's one product coming up on your screen now. It's from a company called KCC Scientific. This is a 1000 watt frequency converter. Okay, and on this output you can set either you want the output to be 60 hertz or you want the output to be 50 hertz. And you can also set the voltage. So this particular frequency converter can actually give you 60 hertz. Okay, the cost of it, I'll put the website in the description, but from memory I think the cost is about $1,450, something like that. Okay, but that is a frequency converter which can be useful as well. There's another item I found, which that one is quite expensive, so this all depends on your budget. This particular item, it is a step down transformer combined as a frequency converter. And again, I'll put the link in the description. Picture on your screen, from a company called GoHertz.com, also in America. This one is a little bit more costly. I think it's probably about $8,000 or something for I think it's a 15,000 watt version. I'm not sure, but obviously you look at the website if you need to, depending on your own equipment. Obviously there are different models with different ratings. They've got 10,000 watts, 15,000 watts, 8,000 watts. So you determine the load of your building and determine what you need. Again, if you don't know how to determine the load of your building, click up here to watch the video, how much power do you need for your home. Okay, and that will help you out. And also watch the 110 volt 220 volt video in addition to this one, that will to help you if you need to have 110 in your home as well. All right guys, well, hope that was useful. That's it for today. I'll say Kemesi on behalf of God. Okay, and as usual, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button so you always be aware when we upload a new and educational video for your viewing pleasure. All right, so for me guys, Yebeshia, see you next time.